Hi class, I have one more question that was posed by Victoria. This question is about a craniospinal case. And so the question asks, a craniospinal patient is being treated on the 6MV machine with 100 SAD with the following field size. Lateral brain, X is 22, Y1 inferior is open to 0, Y2 superior jaw open to 17. The patient has a separation of 16 and is being treated midplane. What is the angle needed to eliminate the divergence from this field? So I drew out already a little bit of what's going on here. So what you have is an asymmetrical jaw situation where you have, essentially a half beam block with one jaw closed and one jaw open. And so you can see that the superior jaw is the one that's open to the 17 centimeters, and the inferior jaw is open to 0. So I have my lateral brain fields here, right and left. Let's look at some of these other characteristics that it's talking about here. So my X jaws are open from open 22 wide, and so remember your X jaws are going to be lateral of the couch with your gantry at 0, so they would be approximately here. As you rotate your collimator, your gantry rather, to 90 and to 270 degrees, those are going to cover the anterior to posterior aspect of the patient. So I have my jaw here that's open to 0. This is my Y1 inferior jaw, and this is the 17 cm that my superior jaw is open to. Some of the other aspects that it's giving you here is 100 source to axis, which means that my central axis is right in between on my patient, and that I have 16 cm across the patient's separation. So this distance is 16 cm. This is my midplane point here, so my 17 cm is open to here at this point. All of this information, I'm not sure if you've noticed yet, but none of this information is even relevant. They're just giving you a whole bunch of information to try to figure out if you can differentiate between what's important here and what's not. What ends up being important is that because we use the half beam block, when we come back in here to do the spinal field, so here's our spinal cord and we need to do a posterior, if this is a prone patient, on that field, is how do we keep from having beam divergence into our spinal field, which would begin over here. And would collimation matter? And so in this situation, because of the half beam block, collimation is not going to be needed. So what's being asked here is, what do we need to do in terms of an angle to eliminate divergence from this field? So the angle that we're talking about is a couch angle, and typically you would be angling your couch to account for the divergence that you would see if you did not use a half beam block. So if we had a 17 cm field and it was open left and right like this, we would need somehow to match that angle on the spinal cord so that we would have the spinal cord this way and there would be no beam overlap here. And so normally we would accomplish that by kicking the couch. But when you use the half beam block, it's unnecessary to kick the couch. So this answer would be no collimation needed.